my literary luminaries, and welcome back to another Top 5 Wednesday. This week's Top 5 Wednesday topic is your top 5 books to get you out of a reading slump. I don't know why I had such trouble with this. Mainly because there's not necessarily a go-to book that I have to get me out of a slump. I just sort of force myself to pick one and be like, this will be good. And then hope that it actually works. So I picked 5 that I think will probably do well, and we'll see. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. I will get this one out of the way first because, as I said last week, you're all tired of hearing me talk about her. That one is Mind Touch by m.c.a. Hogarth. And I went to this because Mind Touch is one of the few books that, of late, I have actually reread. Because I'd read something really sort of dark and gritty and heart-wrenching, and I needed something a little lighter. And Mind Touch is perfect for that. Jahir and Vasida's little world is absolutely wonderful. It's really uplifting. It's beautifully written. It's a nice, easy way of easing yourself back into reading pretty much anything. So it really needed to be on the list. I'll stop talking about it there. Y'all have heard me say enough. Number 2. I'm finding a lot of these are books by authors that I have spoken to before. I don't know what that says about me. But number 2 is The Fate by Stephanie Erikson. And in many ways I like it for the same reason that I said for Mind Touch. It's a relatively lighthearted book, which is funny because The Fate deals with very serious, issues and whatnot. But there's something about those characters. There's something about Penn and all the other Fates and the Weavers and the Reapers and everybody that it's just very comfortable, and it's very easy to sort of melt yourself back into the world. There is darkness in it, but it's in a form that you can handle. It's in the Unseen trilogy that Erikson has also written, it's a lot more prominent, it's a lot more forceful, it's a lot more in your face. And that's not a bad thing. It needs to be, in the sense that it does in, Divergent or The Hunger Games or anything like that, normal dystopian type stuff. But The Fate isn't like that. It's a lot gentler. I don't want to say pastoral because that's not really the word I want. It's not. But I don't know. It's a much easier feeling. It's got more emphasis on character. Maybe that's what I'm looking at there. But there's a very strong emphasis between character and the connections between them, and just watching Penn get back into the world. I love it. Absolutely love it. Number 3. Number 3 is Signs of Attraction by Laura Brown. Again, author I've spoken to. Signs of Attraction is great, and honestly, almost any romance could probably go on this list because a lot of them are very easy to read, and I think that's really what I would look for when I'm trying to get out of a slump. I want something that I don't have to be super philosophical about. And Signs of Attraction is adorable because, I know I've mentioned the book before. The main male lead is deaf, the main female lead is hard of hearing. It's a lovely book about communication and dealing with, the cards that life has dealt you in very many ways, and finding a way to work around them when the world does not necessarily want to help you out a lot with that. And it's really nice. It's very real, and I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to justify what makes these good for getting you out of a reading slump. And honestly, the answer for all of them is that I think they're good books. I think they're relatively easy to read, and I think they're going to draw you in and give you that passion again. I don't know. That seems right, though. Sure, right? Yeah, we're going to go with it. Number 4, so I could review it. And that is Hero Status by Kristen Brand. I think I've spoken about Hero Status here before. I'm not positive. It's a superhero book, which appealed to me because, of course, I have written a superhero story. He's a supervillain and a cop, but 2 different people. The same person is not no. But it's a superhero story dealing with sort of their life outside of the superhero realm, which is fascinating. It's really funny. It's fast-paced. It's got some dark stuff going on, but it's all wrapped up within the characters. and it makes it much easier to sort of travel along with. And it's really a genuinely glorious little book, and absolutely would recommend, if you're just looking for something to get you back into that passion of reading again, 100%. A+ book. And finally, number 5. I feel like I've read another book similar to this recently, and I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. Or maybe I've just heard about it. But this book, it's the only one on the list by an author that I don't know, in some fashion. It's called Up the Down Staircase. And it's a non-traditional book in that it's not written like a normal book. It's all told through memos and letters and phone calls and emails, and it's all, bits and pieces. There's some sort of transcript of conversations. I know there's one at the beginning and one at the end. I think there might be a few in the middle. But for the most part, it's just little snippets of correspondence. And it's fascinating, and I love the concept. And it got pointed out to me, God, probably like 10 years ago now by an editor that I worked with. And it's absolutely wonderful. And it's books like that it's not that you have to think harder about them, but it's opening you up to something new. And so it's a little easier to read because it's in piecemeal. But it also introduced me to a lot of other really interesting books. One of which I can think of, at least, is 13 Reasons Why, which is a relatively dark, I guess, YA novel, but talks about things showing up in pieces, and there's cassettes that this person has to find and all that jazz. But it's a really, really interesting book, and there's not many else in the world like it. And so it's always one that I try and recommend because I think it's a relatively easy read. There's not a lot of difficult in it. And it's very eye-opening in many ways. So it definitely deserves to be on the list. But in any event, those are my top 5. I don't really have good rationale for why these are my top 5, but they're all good books and you should read them all. But let me know, what are some of the top 5 books that you guys have that would get you out of a reading slump? Again, I love getting book recommendations from you guys. So let me know in the comments down below or on Twitter @KRyanFrey. As always, I love to hear from you. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It is very much appreciated and very much helps. And hey, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, why not subscribe? YouTube will very kindly notify you anytime that I post a new video, particularly if you hit the little bell icon, which should be every Tuesday and Thursday. But until next time, I shall bid you all adieu, and I will see you all on Tuesday for another Tuesday Talks. Bye! I don't know when that became my outro. Has that always been my outro? I should really look that up. I don't know. I do weird things. I do the wave both at the beginning and at the end, don't I? I don't plan these things. I swear to God, I don't know what I'm doing.